Okay, so we are here at Kevin's property. We are doing this massive project in his backyard. It's not just a simple garden box. There's actually 3 garden boxes. We're really creating a vibe back here that matches the integrity of his house. He has such a cool, charming house with lots of little whimsical features to it. So I wanted to add in a lot of that whimsy in his design too. His path out of his house is through here. He comes off of his porch. Vantage points are so important for me when I think about a space. I want to make sure that you're getting all the good views. By the way, we totally have permission to go in his house. So yeah, he has this amazing porch that, he put onto the house. He really wanted to create a space that he can look at and just pull into this beauty in here. When you look out these big windows, what we see right now is kind of a blank slate. There is a fireplace that is a focal point, but there's not a lot going on around the fireplace. So my goal was to keep that and then just make it a highlight instead of kind of this random structure in the middle of the sod. So we'll go outside and I will show you all the details of the project. Coming into here, I always think about the feng shui of the flow. So when you look down, you're stepping onto sod and then you go into his garage in here. So we're actually going to be putting in a little bluestone patio, essentially pathway to kind of connect the dots. So this makes sense and this is intentional. Over here, we definitely want to address this situation. One of my biggest things in a design is to hide all this, just so it's more magical. When you turn your lights on, you don't have to look at all the stuff that needs to be there, but it just doesn't have to be visible. So we'll definitely be addressing this and hiding all of this. Here will be one of the boxes. This will be a vertical rough-sawn cedar box here. We'll pop a few tomato cages in, just some simple round cages to utilize this backdrop. And then on the opposite side, we're going to mimic this vertical rough-sawn cedar box. But over here, because it is such a big backdrop and we want to create a little privacy, this is where that massive, beautiful linear trellis will land, and we'll grow squashes and cucumbers and who knows what up it just to create a lush green wall. Connecting these 2 boxes together, I really wanted to pull in a little bit of charm and whimsy, given that his house is so unique. It's very craftsman, and I really want to show you the brick actually, because it's so unique to this property. If you look at the brick, there's all these like beautiful striations of color, and it has some greens, some reds, some yellows. So there's a lot of really positive energy coming off of this house. So we wanted to bring some of that whimsy into his backyard. This box will end about where I'm standing. So it's a really long one. It's gonna take up his whole backyard here. And then we'll be building an arbor as an entrance through here, just custom built with rough-sawn cedar. There'll be posts and a little trellis up top. I'd love to repurpose this clematis, this beautiful climbing flower, to kind of take up and over the arbor as a nice entrance, but also to give it a better home because this is prime real estate for sunshine. So we definitely want to utilize that for more vegetables. Right here, this is going to be a steel box with 2 vertical rough-sawn cedar boxes. And then in between, we'll have that curved asymmetrical bluestone path with space for an outdoor dining table that will sit right about here. With all that said, it gives a lot of intention to this fireplace, which as well, we will be knocking off these 2 stones and we'll be replacing those with bluestone to match the patio. So this fireplace is definitely not an eyesore. It just needs to be accentuated. I love to do that, to take things that are already existing in your yard, and if it makes sense, we can keep it in the design, and in this case, it's perfect. Somebody put this in with a starting point, and we're just gonna finish it. One last detail that I love to incorporate into any landscape is lighting. And so right now he has lights, they just don't really have a ton of intention. And also being a tallish person, I can kind of definitely hit my head on this one. So we're gonna correct this. We're actually inverting the V of this. We'll use his 2 corners of the garage and then the header board up there. So when you're in your outdoor dining area, you'll have this nice subtle overhead lighting. Over here, we want to make sure we complete the whole feel of this property and not leave something, no stone left unturned, right? So we will be putting in a pathway out to the front of his driveway just so that he has a nice entrance leading into this beautiful space. And we'll put in a few nice new perennials as well. All right, so check back in a few months when we have completely overhauled this property. I'll see you then. All right, gardeners, welcome back to this beautiful project. It's been 3 months since we've been here. We wrapped up construction. I helped the homeowner plant all these beautiful plants, and it has been thriving. So I'm so excited to show you what is going on. Let's check out what a real backyard transformation looks like. So this project makes me so happy. The owner just gave me free reign to do whatever I wanted to dream up, and I feel like we nailed it. We got this whimsical charm throughout the garden space, and as you can see, we made it super intentional, right? Before, it was just a fireplace in the middle of sod, which was kind of lackluster in my opinion, and now we've created a beautiful, gorgeous, asymmetrical bluestone patio to hang out on. Obviously, the showpiece stopper is this massive 32-foot long garden box with all the beautiful tomatoes and vines growing up it. I loved that we really played with elements in this garden space. We actually did one box in steel, which gives it, again, a little rustic charm and kind of pulls out the tones that are in his house. He has no intention in changing his paint color, and he has that awesome, cool brick that is just so colorful. So we kind of wanted to go with all the colors here, right? And then we also fixed this issue with the lack of path going on. So to complete the whole flow of his backyard, we installed this beautiful path and a lot of perennials that are placed based on, you know, what they need. So Rosa Sharon, we have 3 little guys, babies growing, and over the years that'll get nice and tall and provide a hibiscus type flower. The rest of his path is pretty shaded, so we just mixed and matched hostas, aralias, astabels. So it just creates this like orchestra of different textures and colors. So one thing too that the homeowner did, Kevin, who you'll meet in just a minute, he actually got a new fence installed, which totally changes the whole vibe as well, right? We can only work with a space as beautiful as the backdrop is, and so this creates a nice, clean look. It's a beautiful shot even down the back aisle when you're working the trellis. Now you actually have like functional room back here to maneuver, whereas before it was just a sunken in fence and a few weeds, so it really does look amazing just to clean everything up. All right, well, let's go knock on the door. Let's go take a chat with Kevin and see what his experience has been in this garden space. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, what's up?
The man who trusted me with his entire backyard. Thank you.
And I would do it again. It's spectacular.
Oh, it turned out seriously amazing. Actually, while we're in here, I want to show you what this turned out to be. I know the before was just like what, sod?
Yeah, sod, fireplace. Sod wasn't very good, and the fireplace looked out of place.
Fireplaces in the middle of a lawn doesn't really.
Right, exactly.
But we saw the potential, right? And so look at it now. So when you look out your window, like, how does that hit?
It makes me happy every morning with my coffee, which I'm making in the kitchen, and I'm looking out. And my 15-year-old thinks it's totally cool.
He was probably the most intrigued by the garden kid I've ever met. Yeah. Like, he was learning. He wanted to know, like, tell me how to do this zucchini pollination thing.
Yeah, exactly right.
He was into that and pruning, and so yeah, I love it that you're creating this not only for you, but you know, your entire family. We need to do a proper toast to this garden space because it did turn out spectacular. So why don't we open some vino? Let's go out to the garden space and grab a couple tomatoes, make like a simple caprese, and just enjoy.
I toasted the garden by myself all the time, but I'd like to do it with you.
I haven't yet. I haven't yet.
So I'd like to do it together.
Perfect. All right, well, cheers to the garden space.
Cheers to the garden space. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. And all the amazing energy that lives here now, from the space to the plants to how you're taking care of it, and just, it's a vibe, right?
It's a total vibe.
What has been like your favorite vegetable in this new space?
Everyone loves tomatoes and, you know, sort of the green things they do. So I love all those, but my favorite, no doubt, this year, thanks to you, is the eggplant. Because in the spring, before the eggplant had, you know, sort of grown, I couldn't get over how beautiful the flowers
I know.
were.
It's in the nightshade family,
yeah.
And those flowers are just amazing.
And I would watch the bees come in, and I was just like, I could sit out here and just watch the eggplant. And now it's, you know, late summer, nearly fall, and the yield of eggplant is...
How many think you have?
I've given away 20, 30.
From one plant?
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And there's probably...
Yeah, you
10,
have... I can see like a dozen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm on about my 4th eggplant recipe. I'm loving it.
That's awesome. So earlier today, your son was here, Patrick, and he had a story to tell about a plant I put into this garden. Which one was it?
It was the fish pepper.
Which is this guy with all the red peppers on it.
It was not only Patrick, it was his older brothers who thought they were tough. I learned that the fish pepper you can harvest at different colors. And we tried it at yellow and green, and it was bananas hot. I couldn't handle it. Then when it turned to red this week, we had the cousins over. Patrick thought he'd show off a little bit. He ate half a pepper and he was thrown up in the toilet inside.
No.
But he feels like he won the award for trying the most.
I love it, yeah.
Right.
I feel kind of bad. I put something in your garden space that made your kids sick.
No. The story is more important than the kids getting sick.
So now we have a healthy respect for the fish pepper, and we know to back away.
You have a healthy respect for nature.
Yes. This is a fun trick. If you can twist it off, see how Kevin didn't even need a scissors? If it twists off, that means it's perfectly ripe and ready to eat. So how do you do your caprese? Do you do big chunks like this, like dice it?
I kind of like, when it's great tomatoes.
Also, look at this. This is incredible. This variety of tomato is called Dr. Wychie. Whoever this doctor is brilliant, and he makes my list on the tomato varieties that I grow every single year.
We didn't grow the mozzarella.
No.
Trader Joe's.
No, yeah. Well, TJ comes in handy.
Well, this time of year, I would say 2 of my 3 meals a day, the lion's share of it is something from the garden.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you would say this is a good return on investment. You're saving in produce bills.
I'm saving in produce bills and I'm eating a lot healthier.
So it's like hands down, win, 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 win. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. ROI, whatever you want to call it, but
Yeah.
it's good.
I actually brought some really good olive oil from this local place in Glen Ellen called Olive and Vinny's. I love it. If you go there, the owner, Karen, is amazing. She is incredible and she sells the most amazing olive oils. So a little shout out to her. We're using her Milanese Gremolata. It is an extra virgin, I'm sure, infused olive oil. This is the victim of the fish pepper, but you survived.
I did. My only advice would just be don't eat half of one, I guess. We know now they're actually spicier when they're red.
What part other than the fish pepper, which was difficult to digest, do you love about the garden?
Well, I think it's so easy for you to say that it's the vegetables and it's the stuff that you grow that you overlook just the fact that it's so nice to have this environment in your backyard. And it's like really rewarding to be able to just grow stuff in your backyard that you can give to your friends and use yourself. So it's awesome.
I agree,
I love it. Oh, that makes me so happy. So we are about ready to try the caprese from the garden, picked fresh. So you gotta make sure you get a bite of everything in one. That's good.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
White balsamic.
I tell you, it's so good.
Great ad.
I know. So this caprese is extremely low acid using
the orange.
The orange tomato and a really high quality white balsamic vinegar. I mean, it takes it up a notch.
It really does.
We're not eating junkyard caprese here. You've had a taste of the garden in year 1. I'm sure you have a lot of wins. Is there anything you want to add in next year that you didn't try this year?
I don't think I'd take anything away.
Okay.
So cool. I want to make more room. I want to learn more about this rampicante squash.
Oh yes, rampicante squash. I get everybody involved in. You can pick them young and it's like zucchini.
Well, you just answered my second thought, which is I do want some zucchini early in the season so I can make zucchini bread. Well, that's what we're doing.
All right, well, thank you so much, Kevin, for entrusting me in your backyard. I love what I've created here. We've co-created this, really. I mean, it was like a mutual thing going back and forth. So cheers to you.
Cheers to you. Well, I want to thank you because you came over and you sort of listened to my vibe and my thoughts and helped me understand how to take it to the next level. And we took it to 2, 3, 4, 5 more levels. It's awesome.
It's how I roll. Cheers. Okay, wait, I have one more thing to share about this amazing space. If you remember, this was like a whole slew of different cables that were all wound together and it was really just an eyesore and honestly maybe unsafe. So now we've strung the beautiful lights appropriately and we've hid the wires so that you don't have this gnarly mess going on anymore.